So Sony took a massive L with Concord, right? Remember that. Concord, the game that just came out. They spent over $500 million on a generic live service snooze fest that was basically dead on arrival. And guess what? Now apparently they are doubling down. There's been a few stories out there talking about how PlayStation Studios is making a brand new live service team-based action game that is targeting years of support. Guys, we've seen this. This is the same movie, just different actors. Sony just basically doesn't know how to take the L. Even though they took one, they're refusing. They are doubling down, guys. So you can see this article says, undeterred by Concord, Sony expands its live service army. PlayStation Studios adds a new dev, making a team-based action game, right? Its first game is going to be inspired by fighting games, platformers, MOBAs, life sims, and more. We're going to talk about it, right? I swear, gamers keep telling these companies what we don't want, which is overpriced battle passes, boring team-based shooters, empty live service promises. But it just seems like they just plug their ears and throw more money at the same trash formula. Do they like to just burn money? If you're going to waste money, can you give me, like, I don't know, a $5? I'll take a $500, donation if you're just going to be throwing the money away. Jesus, I could use it a lot more, better than what you guys are doing. So now Sony's cooking up this team-based action comedy game that's supposedly lighthearted, right? Mythic science fantasy is what the description is. Yeah, that's not a red flag at all. That's not a red flag at all. This is Team LFG. Let's fucking go. Is that what the LFG stands for? Anyways, it's a new PlayStation studio that is basically spun out of Bungie. So that's already another red flag out of there. It's reportedly packed with devs who have worked on games like Destiny, Halo, League of Legends, Fortnite, and Roblox. And on paper, that sounds pretty good, right? Sounds like it's going to be a whole bunch of veteran developers that are going to make something banger. And again, like I said, you think with that resume, you think they would create something cool, right? But no, instead, they're making this weird mashup of fighting games, like it says right here. Fighting games, MOBAs, platformers, life sims, and frog-type games? What the hell is a frog-type game? Can somebody in the comments let me know what a frog-type game is? I've never even heard of that term. So this reeks of a marketing meeting where someone just basically took a whiteboard and threw darts at it, full of like trending games. Oh, we need a little bit of this. We need some of that. We need this, and this will make like a mismatch, like like a Frankenstein of a great live service game. To me, that just sounds like a mess, right? If it sounds like something that you don't understand, it's not going to translate to anybody. Nobody's going to want to get it. And on top of that, let's talk history, guys. Let's take a history lesson here, all right? Sony just canceled 2 live service games not too long ago at Bluepoint and Bend Studio, one of which was rumored to be the live service God of War title. Yeah, one of the greatest PlayStation franchises of all time. They tried turning Kratos into a Battle Pass mascot. Could you imagine that? It's literally like they've completely lost the plot. They're just adamant about live service games. They think, I guess, you hit your head on the wall 20 times, at least one of those times it's going to feel good for once. Maybe they'll make some money off of a live service game when, losing however much money they did with Concord didn't do them enough like of a lesson to be learned there. So think about it. Even with WB Games, right? We're not even going to talk about Sony anymore. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. It couldn't survive. And that was a Batman thing. A Batman franchise with some classic DC Comics characters. It was such a mess that Warner Brothers reportedly torched $200 million on it and shut it down after a few painful months. It was even a free PlayStation Plus monthly game. It was supposed to change the business model of what WB Games was going to go for, and instead it nearly nuked every single thing about Rocksteady's entire future. And Sony still wants to try to go and pursue that business model. They're literally staring into the wreckage of their $500 million disaster with Concord. And they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's do that again, but funnier, right? We need to have this, what sounds like a Guardians of the Galaxy type of game, an action comedy type of like live service game that's lighthearted. And I don't know. I know what we're going to say and hear right now, though. There's going to be some gamers out there that are holding up hope. Some people are going to come and defend them with the, well, Bungie's involved argument. But remember, Bungie hasn't really been untouchable lately either. Plus, nobody asked for another lighthearted team shooter. Who asked for this, right? The last thing gamers want is another dollar store version of Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to go ahead and say it. A knockoff with these Fortnite characters that we saw on Concord. Like, look at the Concord graphics and stuff. Uninspiring. Characters that aren't interesting to look at. They're ugly. Recycled voice lines. No heart behind it. No passion. You might as well just have AI make it, right? That game was shut down after 2 weeks of being live. Why does Sony think they could do it again? I want to know why Sony clearly believes that live service is the future, no matter how many projects they crash and burn. And let's be honest, some live service games do work, guys. Helldivers 2, for example. But the difference between Concord and Helldivers 2 is that Helldivers 2 respects players, right? It has content. It feels finished. These other attempts feel like corporate checklist with loot boxes. They're all about the money, right? And gamers see right through it. And don't even get me started on this trend of stuffing dev teams with junior hires, right? Who overshadow the experienced staff. Like, oh, let's hire these vets, but we're going to have junior developers and junior hires overshadowing them, right? It's all about these fresh perspectives for this modern audience. And then the game flops, the layoffs hit, and who do they blame? They blame the experienced veterans. They blame the gamers. And then another studio gets closed down, rinse and repeat. We see the same cycle again, right? So at this point, I think Sony needs to stop chasing trends. Like, hands down, they need to start listening to gamers. Gamers don't want a Frankenstein monster made of a team game. All these buzzwords, right? Oh, fighting games, MOBAs, League of Legends, blah, blah, blah. We want good games, guys. We've seen it. Clair Obscur just came out. And even then, I don't think that's that great of a game, but it's refreshing because it was something different. We want single player, story driven, complete on day one games. No patches, no one having to go and get updates and fix it because it's just trash. Remember how games used to be, guys? I know we sound like Pepperidge Farm remembers when we say this type of stuff, but anyways, I think we're going to see the next overpriced half-baked mess with this. This is years ahead, by the way. This ain't coming out anytime soon. But guaranteed, I'm going to be skeptic about it. This game is going to be on the chopping block when it comes out. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. Are you still holding hope that Sony and Bungie and whoever's involved with this game will actually make a successful live service game? Or are you just like me and you're over it with the rest of us? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Please hit that subscription button. We're on the way to 100,000 subscribers. I'll see you on the next one.